that you are Colleen Fernald, am I saying that right?
Correct.
Candidate for Peace, U.S. Senate, 2012, AmericaCARE Not WARfare.
AmericaCARE.
AmericaCARE.
Not a particularly unconstitutional warfare. We wouldn't have any of the budget problems that we have right now if we just defunded all optional conflict. And that's where I'd like to start.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about this on the air in a one-to-one or two-to-one interview here. Like this is, by the way, this is Evelina Molina, who's the co-host for Shift Shapers and also for Viviendo Verde Ya on KBBF FM and also on our podcast. So what we will be doing is talking at greater length about some of the finer points of these issues, because there are going to be some other people in the field jumping into this campaign for 2012.
I understand.
We're certainly clear about that.
Gavin Newsom is being pushed by Willie Brown to jump in.
Oh my goodness gracious! And yeah, so good one. That's just for the United States Senate. So this is the big one. This is like the big Kahuna tamale.
Well, I want to see how California can help me save America.
Yes.
And if we come together and let all the candidates know what it takes to get California's vote.
Yes.
You know, it's all about raising the bar, and for me personally, it's not even so much about the races. What's the Senate going to be focused on next week? You know, when we can get the conversation around, there's no reason to raise the debt ceiling if we end the funding for unconstitutional war.
Oh yes, oh yes.
And they haven't taken up the Libya issue.
And you don't even have to touch taxes for the rich if you do that.
Exactly. Yes.
Interesting.
And not only that,
because we know that's a priority, making sure that the rich pay fewer taxes.
Well, and there's another priority, which is having our businesses shrink their carbon footprint. So if we had the military stepping forward and we stuck to only missions of defense, we could probably decrease the military's carbon footprint by 50%. And that way we'd have the time and the resources to help business get up to speed with doing business more efficiently and more investments in truly renewables. I'm here to sort of set the standard on what it is to be green. No more of the thin veneer. It's got to be deep.
Yay. And I'm here talking to you. My name's Dan Kermine. I'm host of Shift Shapers, and I'm also co-host of Shift Shapers with Evelina Molina, and also co-host of Viviendo Verde Ya. Both are on KBBF FM, KBBF FM 89.1. And we are here with Colleen Fernald, who is thrown her, well, she has a hat on right now, but it's figuratively in the ring for the U.S. Senate. And we are here at what are we calling this?
Fair.
The Share Fair.
Share Fair. This is exactly what I see as part of AmericaCARE. You know, funding made in America, made locally, all these wonderful booths of all types of, you know, products and services, and the way for the community to get together and celebrate, have good food and music.
Yes.
You know, this is what Main Street needs to be revitalized.
Yes.
So I so love the Share Exchange. I'm so glad they exist and that they put this event on. It's a wonderful success, beautiful day. We're lucky to be part of Sonoma County.
Yeah, you know, this is a great perspective to have on it too. Is, you know, a little bit of work, a little bit of put it together and make sure we get what we want out of our Senate and out of our government and the way the money is allocated, and we get to celebrate.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I like that approach.
So there'll be more information up. Eventually, the website is campaignforpeace.org.
Campaignforpeace.org.
I also am looking for support in helping create a PACT, a political action committee on candidates for peace. Make a list of all those who would pledge to be candidates that only are supporting, as I was saying, just using our military for defense, no offense. Make it a simple pledge. And then alternatively have the website for Voters for Peace. So those voters that say, I'm only going to vote, I'm only going to cast my vote for those candidates. And this is all offices, because when even you're elected locally, you swore an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution.
The Constitution, that's right.
I'm sorry, but the people who are violating the Constitution are not being held accountable. And it's bankrupting every local government. Yes. So there's only a few ways that we can change that. And, having ordinary citizens put their hat in the ring is one, but also compelling our elected officials from every level to use their power to uphold and defend the Constitution. Because it's, we don't need a Constitution for dummies. It's already written.
It's already written, yeah. And so what you're saying is, instead of having to have our money for schools and our money for the aging population, and also for people to make sure we have what our communities need, instead of having that go to these unconstitutional wars that are going on for 10, 12 years, that we can be actually having them in the country.
Yes, and if you go to the nationalprioritesproject.org, then you can see exactly how much your share of cost of your local tax dollars that are being stripped from your communities to finance, books instead of bombs. But it'll list exactly how many police and firemen could be hired for the same amount of money that we are using to go basically destroy other communities, and we're doing it in a way now that is just is unconscionable with the unmanned drones and all the mistakes and all the innocent lives that are being sacrificed. And in my opinion, if we just stuck like Dinskus and it says, you get your strength through peace. We stick to defense and have the money for law enforcement.
The countries that have the money in their budget are the ones that don't have the armies out conquering countries and occupying them.
They've been sort of co-opting our armies, and it's time that we start serving America's agenda and not the multinational corporations, not the other corporations.
Yes. So this is a real gem, this website you're talking about. Is it up yet, or is it something that's
It's been up since 2006, but I haven't updated it for this particular race. The other one that's just coming online is called songsforceasefire.org.
Songs for a Ceasefire.
And that's where we would be inspired by the likes of John Lennon and American Idol, and we use that to create a new songwriting competition of multiple genres, every category, be really inclusive, and just say to America, what would the words be that would compel us to lay our arms down? What would those notes be? And if you're not writing the song or playing on it, then you can be voting for it. And how we can collectively see which bit of music will inspire us and rise to the cream of the crop. And this would coincide with the United Nations International Day of Peace, which we're so compelled to have a ceasefire, but our country hasn't been doing it.
And what are the website addresses now for both of these?
Well, for this one, it's songsforceasefire.org, which is just beginning to come online. But where they can get more information about this International Day of Ceasefire is at peaceoneday.org.
Peaceoneday.org.
And you can self-organize for your own community. You could create a concert, with your share of the songs. You could create a local day of nonviolence, so that we can insist that the federal government, this is a UN agreement since 2001, September 2001, and we're not honoring it. So it's time that we do, and it's time that each community has their own day of nonviolence. This is September 21st of every year, so that you show locally what you want to be done nationally and internationally.
Yes, okay. And so, wow, we'll be looking forward to all this. And we're going to have a more lengthy interview with